Good evening, everyone. This is Devahuti here. I'm going to briefly overview you on CMMI. So by this time, I think so we already have a right amount of curiosity being created regarding CMMI because Suri has already sent out the release mail for the QMS. So I'll just give you a brief overview on what CMMI is, like what quality management system is, and what we are going to do for achieving the CMMI maturity level 3. So my agenda today is giving you a brief on CMMI and giving you a brief on the quality management system. We'll have a Q&A session. I think so we might not have that many queries. So I have a quiz ready here. So at least if you have understood whatever we have gone through in our CMMI overview slide, so you can just respond to those quiz, and we have chocolates out here to be won for those answers. So keep your eye on the slides when I just go through them. And so those two sections for Q&A. So it will be like 4 sections, 2 sections for the overview and 2 sections for the Q&A sessions or the quiz. Okay, so what exactly is CMMI? CMMI is as we have no idea on CMMI, this is the definition of CMMI that I have put it out here. But basically what CMMI is it is a set of practices, or you can say it is a set of best practices which has been coupled together by the Software Engineering Institute or the CMMI Institute, and they have put it out for consumption, easy consumption across all the industries. So some industries who had done very good using those practices, they have the CMMI institutes have got those practices and then put together in form of a model, and then they have made it easily available across all the other industries and all the organizations. So what CMMI is not? CMMI is not a process, and CMMI is a best practice which tells you what to do. It does not tell you how to do it, and it does not tell you who should do it. It is just telling you what needs to be done, to achieve that level of success or that level of maturity. So this is all about basic intro on CMMI. So now going to the evolution of CMMI. So this is what is the evolution of CMMI. So let me tell you a story of how CMMI evolved. So in the 1980s, the US Department of Defense, the DoD, had been increasingly relying on computers to get their work done, and because of that they needed a lot of help from the software developers. But at that time they were not very well versed with computers, and they had to rely on the external contractors to do so. And the DoD wanted to track the time effectiveness and the budget and the cost constraints, everything for their work to be done at the right time, and that's why they wanted a model. So Carnegie Mellon University and University Software Engineering Institute, they came up with a model called Capability Maturity Model, and this model had everything shown in a very easy way to assess and describe the quality of the software that is being developed. So that model was established as the CMM for software version 1.1 in 1993, and this again went on evolving. This is a continuous improvement process that happens for the CMMI models, and finally the latest version of CMMI was revised in 2010, and it is divided into 3 models again. I'll get into that: CMMI for acquisition, CMMI for development, and CMMI for services. So the current version that we are referring to for CMMI is version 1.3, that is revised latest on 2010. So current CMMI version is version 1.3. Now coming to the benefits of CMMI. It is we have immense number of benefits that are coming out of CMMI. First of all, it is it acts as a guidance tool. It will help us get what processes, and it will define all the processes. It will help us define processes. It will give us a framework. It works well with all technologies, Like it can go with Agile, it can go with ISO, it can go with ITIL. And in the beginning, we might be incurring a bit of cost, but then like the benefits will always be outnumbering the cost after a certain point of time. And CMMI always has a perfect reputation of continual improvement. That's why like it will help the business also gain that reputation for the organization. Now, there are some real life examples which the established organizations all over the world have quoted in the CMMI Institute website, how they had been able to, achieve better results by implementation of CMMI. So why CMMI? I'm going to tell you about that here. These are some examples actually that have been quoted in the CMMI website. First is the decreased cost. So Siemens Information has reduced the quality from 45 to the cost of quality from 45 to 30%. Then we have improved on-time delivery happening for JP Morgan chairs and General Motors. And we have improved productivity for IBM Australia. Then we have improved quality for Siemens. And besides that, we have improved customer satisfaction for Siemens again. Then we have impressive ROI. Accenture experienced 5:1 ROI for their quality activities. So it is like quite a value for their investment that they had done for CMMI. Besides these are like quantifiable benefits that our people are getting. Besides these, they are also able to get some quality benefits out of CMMI. So how do we get that quality benefits? Like this is like directly proportional, because we are having a process and a structure in place. So in that way, we are not going to have any overtime. We are having clear roles and responsibilities, and we are having a common language. Common language means we have all the processes defined across the organization. Say for example, we are not having a different process for Sequent, different process for Samsung. We won't be saying that we have a Sequent as a different process, Samsung as a different process. Now we'll have one process for the whole organization. There might be tweaks needed in some processes, and that again will be based on the CMMI's guidelines, and that again will not be a different process for any project. It will be a same process, same agile process across all the projects. So it's all baseline. So in that way, we'll have a common language across the organization. Everyone will be knowing what the other person is doing. It's not that everyone will be knowing what other developer is knowing, or what the other technology or something like that, but it's like a common method or the process or practice that they will be following. Yeah, so the resultant of that will be job satisfaction and personnel retention. So anyways, the people will be more satisfied with whatever they will be doing. So these again results in the qualitative benefits. So now what's in store for you as project managers, developers, testers, and the management with CMMI? So this again is related to the previous stuff. As we have our processes and practices defined in a proper way, so in that way everyone will be benefited, and they will be able to have a better work-life balance and a better satisfactory work environment. And management will be having a better control on what exactly is happening over here, because we'll have proper metrics, we'll have proper reporting, we'll have proper status reports to be sent out in correct in regular intervals, and we'll have the verification process happening, with the help of which, with the help of CMMI, we'll have audits, and so verification will also be happening, and then we'll again go back and improve upon the areas which we were not doing good the previous time. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you about CMMI appraisals across the industries. Look, you must be thinking like CMMI applies to which kind of industries? It actually is more used by IT, ITES, and the manufacturing. However, it does not mean that it's not applicable to the other sort of industries. So as we can see here, I have a 2009 to 2010 data here from scicmu.edu. This shows that we have the maximum number of CMMI appraisals happening across the IT and ITES sectors and the manufacturing sectors. but we have it also happening in the pharma, transport, automotive, consulting, defense, financial services, etc. And these are like just a few names that have really achieved success with CMMI certifications. This is the most important part of our CMMI overview I'm going to talk about. CMMI models are of two levels. Either it is the maturity level or the capability level. So how does this maturity level and the capability level differ? They mainly differs in their representation and how they're applied. So this is what we have. Under CMMI, we have two representations. One is the stage representation and one is the continuous representation. So the stage representation or the maturity level, and the stage representation is called the maturity level and the continuous representation is called the capability level. So stage representation applies to an organization overall process improvement. So it is not on one particular process or one particular area or one particular section that we'll be concentrating on. In maturity level, we are going to concentrate across the organization, and the whole organization will be certified towards a particular maturity level. And Smart Tech is actually going for the maturity level. So, and then this is a staged form representation. So there will be different levels, and level by level will be achieving the certification. And both the types of levels will comprise of process areas. Process areas are again nothing but a set of practices or set of goals which are comprised together again to achieve these levels. So this again is the most applicable slide for for this CMMI thing, and in Smart Tech we are going to go for the level 3. So I'll just explain about all the levels of CMMI maturity model. So please pay attention to this one. So the first level is the processes are the companies or the companies who are in the first level are actually unpredictable, or they are reactive. They do not have any processes in place. They are just trying to do a sort of firefighting, and if some error arises, if some defect arises, they suddenly start taking care of that, and it might lead to a lot of chaos. It might, and the management is very unaware of like what exactly has happened. They do not have much control on like what is happening. So it is more of a reactive behavior. And next level is your managed, where like processes are to some extent documented and to some extent monitored, but still it is mainly dependent on the heroics of one particular person or one particular team, or like say for example one particular project manager is working very well and his team he is like led very nicely, and because of that the company is performing very well. But the management does not have an idea on what exactly which best practice led that team to be successful so much. So it is more on the heroics of that person, and then if that person leaves the organization, they are not able to produce the same result again. They do not have a knowledge transition plan. They do not have anything documented by which that same results can be replicated. So they are unable to produce the same result in the absence of that heroic person. So that is like level 2. Level 3 is where the processes are well characterized and are understood. So here we are going to define the processes, place the guidelines for all the processes to be implemented, and then we are going to take care of whatever risk or whatever defects proactively. We are going to predict those. We are going to plan out our schedule. We are going to plan out our budget. We are going to plan out our cost, and we'll be able to understand and support the processes. So any organization which is first of all going to get into the CMMI way are expected to first get into the defined level first, and only then move ahead to the other higher levels. Next level is the quantitatively managed, or the level 4. So here what happens is like now when the processes are already defined and baselined, you had been practicing those processes, then next step is like you get some quantitative analysis, you get some tools or statistical tools, etc., to measure those data that you have gathered during your level 3. And then after those data are gathered and impacts are assessed and then dependencies are checked out, this level 4 is managed. Then next comes is the final level or the optimizing level. Here we are just doing fire prevention and we are like optimizing whatever data analysis, whatever data we have gathered in the previous stages, and then we are going to finally continually improve and increment our productivity. So these are the 4 levels. So first one does not have anything at all. It is like chaotic and it's only like firefighting people are working here. Second is like it's managed, but it is mainly dependent on the heroics of 1 or 2 people who are working in the organization. Third is like it is defined, it will have the processes there in place and it will be proactive. So people will be knowing what needs to be done if some problem arises. Fourth is like qualitatively managed. Fifth is optimizing, or it's more of a fire prevention kind of thing. Okay, CMMI product suite. So CMMI mainly has these products in place. It has a CMMI model and they give the training and they have the appraisal method. So this product suite is again divided into a subset of like products where this product suite is again divided in a way in which they are catering to a particular process area or particular interest area, sorry. Interest area may be development, acquisition and services. So there might be companies which are into development, acquisition or services. So Smart Tech currently is going into CMMI development because we are going to support projects with development, support and enhancements. Okay. So the CMMI model structure. So CMMI like emphasizes on institutionalization. So this is quite a tongue twister. We don't have to remember this as a tongue twister, and like we are not going to get a CMMI certification because of pronouncing this. In that way, it would never have been possible. But institutionalization needs to go in that it has to be ingrained in everyone's work. Everyone needs to know what exactly are the policies, what exactly are the responsibilities. They should be like into their daily work, like we come to office, we come and sit at our desk and then start working only in our system. We should not be going and we will not be going and working in someone else's system. So like it should be like that, it should be ingrained in our daily work. Okay, so these are like CMMI basic. There are like common core process areas, like 16 process areas, and then we have for each specialized interest areas, we have again their set of process areas, and then finally we have the ratings. So this is the process structure at Smart Tech that we are going to create. We will be having in this maturity level, we'll be having 4 process areas: project management, process management, engineering, and support. So we'll again like take up a series of trainings, but that will be online. So I'll come to that later. And under each process area, there will be like specific goals and generic goals, which we'll need to practice as it comes for implementation. Now, what do we have to do for adopting CMMI? So as we already know, KPMG has been consulting us as an external consultant, and along with us, they have done the first 2 steps, that is the gap analysis. Then we had to look for process completeness, and finally we created our processes. Now is the time to execute our processes, and then later we'll measure the results and modify if there is any need for the same. And then finally it is the appraisals that we are going to go for. Okay. Is there any questions? I'm done with the CMMI overview. No questions? Then I'll go to my quiz then. I expected that, no questions. Okay, shall we go for the quiz then? Okay, so this is the first question. What does CMMI stand for? Is it Capability Maturity Model Index, Capability Maturity Model Indicator, Capability Maturity Model Integration, Capability Maturity Model Integrator, or none of the above?
C. Integration.
Who said first?
C.
Uttam.
Yeah, it's correct.
Okay. Okay, so coming to the next question. Okay, how many CMMI maturity models are there? I said the levels. Krishna said, Pradeep, everybody said there. You give them. Okay, what is a CM? Moving. Okay, next question. Who said two? Tani.
Three. So you should be happy that people just
People are listening. Okay, quantitatively managed. That side only is listening, I think so. Optimized. Okay, so we are done. We are done for the CMMI part of it. So we'll get into the QMS part of it. So first of all, let me tell you about SmartTech's vision and business objectives. So SmartTech's vision is to help our customers implement cost-effective, scalable, and simple technology solutions on time to cater diverse business needs. So this is our vision, and for this vision we have the following business objectives: increasing the utilization of employees, establishing quality framework for IT services which are benchmarked, training and enhancing the skill sets, and increasing the employee satisfaction and increasing client satisfaction. So this is the vision and business objectives which forms the basis for our quality management system. Now getting into what exactly is this quality management system that we had been talking about. Okay, so the quality management system mainly comprises of the policies, procedures, processes, and any other applicable artifacts like the templates, checklists, and the guidelines. Okay, and this quality management systems is executed at SmartTech Consultancy Services. It will be applicable to the following support groups: IT and infrastructure, human resources, learning and development, project management office, software engineering group, and internal quality audit team. So other departments I think we are quite familiar with. The only new things that we are seeing here is the software engineering process group and the internal quality audit team. So these are the two groups that have been formed with the help of the CMMI for the CMMI. And software engineering process group is a group who is documenting all the processes, or the process owners for each process who has defined the processes are the software engineering process group, and further ahead they will work for all the process improvement for the CMMI also. Next is the internal quality audit team. This audit team is the team who will be carrying out all the internal audits across the organization for verification of adherence to the processes. And amongst this, a chunk of the auditors will be going for certification, and then they will also help in the final appraisal process for the organization. Okay. So the components of the QMS, what is the policy and what is the checklist, process description, guidelines, and templates. This is just, as the name suggests, it is like literally the same thing that we are going to put it there. And these are the process areas for each process that we have divided for SmartTech. So the QMS will have these 4 process areas, and they will have the structure. I'll go through the QMS structure also here. So the link which Suri had sent for the during the release of QMS, that link will have these 4 process areas. along with the components of the QMS. So engineering will have another process, project management will have project management process, process management will have process management and organization learning and development, support will have measurement and analysis, audit, configuration and change management, decision analysis and resolution. So this is our QMS structure. So each of these process areas are having the same components as the process, templates, checklist and guidelines. So these process areas are having exactly the same components there. So if we need a template or a checklist or a guideline for any particular process which is related, any particular process that is under process management, we need to go and check it here, or otherwise project management, engineering and support. And this process asset library is nothing but it is a repository kind of thing where we are going to put all the logs, all the history data, along with that all the data which we keep, which we want to keep as a repository, and the last is the training and materials, reference materials. Besides that, we'll have other folders created in QMS which we will be intimating you from time to time on how to access those and how to use those. Okay, so the next steps, what we are going to do is that we are going to publish the list of people in the SCPG, or the SCPG group will be published, and then we'll have to form the IQAT. We'll create the DLs in the mailboxes so that like we can have the process improvement and all other suggestions from the organization to be coming to us so that we can improve on our processes. And then we'll have organization-wide training. Okay, so organization-wide training, this is the first step to it. So this is the overall training on the CMMI and QMS. So we'll have a series of other trainings, but it will not be of this sort. We'll be recording this training video for each process areas. There will be around 4 process areas and around half an hour of training for each process area, and everyone has to mandatorily go through it. It will be online available in the QMS or the Office 365 site. What we are planning is that you'll have to go through it, and then you'll have to acknowledge that you have understood whatever you have seen there, and you can do it at your leisure, at your convenient time. So you don't, it is not a live training or a classroom training sort of. So next is the, after we have done with the trainings, then we'll have to implement the QMS. The processes that we have created needs to be implemented in our projects, and then there will be implementation reviews from KPMG, and then there will be internal audits, and then finally the external audits and the final assessment for the CMMI certification. Any questions? No. Okay, we'll go to the quiz. Okay, what are the different types of projects at Smart Tech and QMS? Then answer is what? E. Rajesh is saying E. Rajesh said, Rajesh. Oh, she is waiting for the answer. Okay, what are the components of QMS? That's why they are saying Shirley in this time. Okay, so what are the 4 process areas that we are going to implement here at Smart Tech? Jagdish said. Jagdish said. What does SCPG stand for? What does IQAT stand for? Hema said. Okay, so we are having some appendices here in this PPT. This PPT will also be available in the QMS site. So we are having some appendices, so you can, if you are interested, you can go through it, or like you can have more knowledge on CMMI. There are some references also there, so you can just have a look at it if you have some time. And then I'm not going to go through all these stuff now. So we are done. Thank you so much for your time.